Crown Jewel is 15 days away with the draft. We've pretty much learned that the draft is meaningless, especially with our first match, so let's get to it. The Fiend faces Seth Rollins yet again for the Universal Championship. We saw at Hell in a Cell the ridiculousness, the overbooking that it took to have Seth Rollins retain the title. Whether it was a disqualification or referee stoppage, we'll never know. But I like the lengths they went to, but the finish, I counted at least 15, 20 stomps, and I probably lost count at some point. So maybe it was more, maybe it was less, I don't remember. But you take fucking pedigrees, you take tables, you take a mountain of chairs, you take a pile of chairs, you take 15, 20 stomps, like I said before. You use the cell, that's obvious, but it took a sledgehammer. And even then, he wasn't dead. The man should have been dead. The character should have been dead. There were times where it's hard for me to be speechless. And you... In fairness, if the man was dead, the man could not continue. You had to stop the match. After a blow like that to the skull, I think was the first chair shot since the Benoit incident in WWE, at least from a standpoint, like we saw. You know, fucking sledgehammers to the skull, fucking chairs to the skull. This has not happened since the Benoit incident. It has not happened at this magnitude. It's happened before, but not at this magnitude. So you had to stop the match in some capacity. I understand every stoppage. The guy can't continue. But he was up and then he fucking beat him with the mandible claw. You could have continued the match. He could have been the champion. But all of this bullshit to keep Seth be the champion. And now it's a false count anywhere match, which at this point I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in a fucking count out. Just end in a double count out. They're in the fucking Dead Sea for all I fucking care. Just let them kill each other and drown each other. I don't give a fuck. But for the sake of picking someone, I will pick Seth Rollins because it makes no sense. Since Brock Lesnar, WWE Champion, is on SmackDown, it makes absolutely no sense for Bray to win the title. As much as I would like Bray to win the title, it makes no sense because then you have to change the Universal title to a blue strap, which would be much better, but there would be no point. You have to make a new title for Raw for no reason, or bring Brock to Raw, which Fox definitely does not want to happen. Fox specifically picked Brock Lesnar way before the draft even happened to be their main guy, to be their world champion, to bring the WWE Championship to SmackDown where it deserves to be. And at this point, I don't know. I would have loved to see this as Survivor Series under different circumstances, but now I don't know. I'm not even going to watch the event to begin with, but still. Bray is dead in the water. I hate to say it. It's back to the same old Bray, and it's disgraceful. Hopefully they can prove me wrong. And since the best in the world was fired recently, we now have to crown a new best in the world. In this case, a new best tag team in the world. And that will happen in the largest tag team turmoil match in history to crown this World Cup winner and to determine the best tag team in the world. And then the teams are as follows. The entire OC apparently, as AJ Styles also in it, or I guess that means any two of the OC could be in this match. New SmackDown Tag Champs, The Revival, Hawkins and Ryder, the Lucha Fangs. Any member of the Lucha Fangs can fucking do it. Grand Metalik, Kalisto, or fucking Lince Dorado. The B Team, Heavy Machinery, the New Day. Any members of the New Day apparently can be in this match, as we expect. The new Rock Tag Champions, the Viking War Machine Experience, goddamn, whatever the fuck they're called, and the former champions, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, with that fucking porno stash. Now, as far as this match is concerned, this will be a clusterfuck. And I love a good clusterfuck, but I don't know. It depends. Obviously, the order of entry will play a huge part in this. I'm going to make a few picks just to be safe here, though. New Day, obviously, so they can gloat about it and just have the fucking dick shake as the best tag team in the world. The Viking War Raiders, whatever the fuck they are at this point, they could be a goddamn carnival ride as far as I'm concerned, and they could be great as a surprise upset in this. Heavy Machinery is a dark horse. And the Revival, just because they need this. They need something like this. They have the SmackDown Tag Titles, but they need something more. After going through the pile of shit, the basically doing a military crawl through a mountain of shit that they have gone through, they need this more than any team. Next up, Mansoor versus Cesaro. Ironically, in the last Crown Jewel, Mansoor won the largest battle royal in Crown Jewel history, let alone WWE history. Cesaro is just here to make up the numbers, unfortunately, and just to fall to the Arab, which you need to do to keep the Saudis happy. I do not approve of this, but this is what you have to do. So Mansoor will win just based on that alone. And finally, we have more of an update on the Hogan and Flair match as the teams are starting to finalize, as Seth Rollins does double duty on Team Hogan with Rusev and the new addition Ricochet to face Team Flair's Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, King Corbin, and the new additions of Lashley and the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, it depends who is in those final slots. But for right now, I gotta go with Team Flair. They have a man advantage. It's the obvious pick. And with Rollins pulling double duty, I can honestly say he'll be eliminated in this. I don't even know if this is elimination, as far as I know. I don't even think this could be just a one-fall match. We don't know. But if it's elimination, you gotta gear up for Survivor Series. That's the potential for this to happen. If Rollins will be eliminated early, so he will have much of an opportunity to compete in this Falls Count Anywhere clusterfuck with Bray Wyatt. But I don't know. As far as I do know, Crown Jewel, the Halloween Havoc edition, is 15 days away. It'll be a great show for wrestling, a great night for wrestling, a great afternoon, depending where you are in the world. As I believe it's a 1 p.m. start time. Probably a noon Eastern time, depending again on where you are. Check your time zones. Do what you got to do. It'll be a happening for sure.